Hey, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. First, I haven't said it for the last few ones. Welcome to all the new people. Every time I happen to check, and I don't do it very often, I see we have a whole lot of new people here. So it's good to have you. Welcome to you, and both on YouTube and over on Patreon. We continue to grow like the Dickens. And both on the regular level and on the Stonemont level on Patreon. If you're not over there with us, I wish you would be, because there's a lot over there that you don't get on the YouTube channel. I just put one up about knives and knife fighting. That I don't put that on YouTube. And fighting, guns, gunfighting, things like that, I pretty much keep over on Patreon. The Stonemont level allows people to reach me directly, ask questions, and get my opinion, or ask me to do videos on certain things, and it kind of allows people to be a part of driving, what you see. So that one that I just put up was in response to a Stonemont level patron over on Patreon. The way to get there is right down below. There is a link. It says go to Patreon or something, a link to the Patreon. Just go over there and join us. I think you'll be glad that you did, and we'll be glad to have you. Trouble's coming. Big trouble, I think. And it's coming in about a week. Yeah, and that is, we've got the elections coming up next Tuesday. I saw that there was a headline on one of the news aggregators that I checked. Probably either I don't pay attention to Drudge, but Breitbart or Liberty Daily or something like that. It was a clever little headline, and it said something to the effect that Joe Rogan had said that the red wave coming on next Tuesday is going to look like when the elevator doors opened up in The Shining. Yeah, well, I only recently saw The Shining. I'm not a Stephen King fan. I don't go in for horror movies and scary movies. It's just not my thing. So I'd only seen that because the kids wanted to see it about a month ago. That's why I understood what he meant. Probably all of you understand what he meant. Excuse me. So yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. What does that mean? That's the situation. Yeah, I think there's probably going to be a red wave. We've all been expecting a red wave. I mean, the Republicans, and this really isn't political. I'm not going to get into politics here. I'll get into that over on American Reversion, but not here, because this has to do with how it affects us. And some of you heard me say that years and years and years ago, an old mob guy, I asked him, I says, who you guys want in the next election? He says, we don't care. He says, Steve, we don't care. He says, it's just we deal with each side differently. He says the Democrats are easier to deal with because they're more corrupt. So we always like the Democrats to be in. But, if the Republicans get in, we'll deal with that too. Well, that's what you need to be able to do. If you're truly into preparedness, that's what you need to be able to do. You should keep your eyes on the politics, and to the extent that you want to be involved, good for you. We all have different views on that. I think that people should be aware and should be involved to the extent that they can and want to be. Other people don't want to be involved, but you should still keep your eye on what's going on, because if you don't know what's going on, you don't know what to be ready for. Okay, it's just like watching the game films and of the last game. Excuse me. So how this affects us as preparedness-minded people, the Democrats are getting scared. Everything. I mean, they have nothing to run on. They're still running on. Trump is bad. That's nothing. I mean, the whole country, the whole world is falling apart, and it's not just in our country. Our inflation is out of sight. The economy is tanking. The borders are open. Crime is rampant. The moral fabric of our country has been ripped to shreds. We've never been more divided than now, even during that little, thing back during the 1800s, because there are so many things dividing us now. We have been fragmented by people who wanted to fragment us. The the standards and principles that the majority of Americans used to hold to, you can't say that a majority of Americans hold to that now, which puts us as a country in a precarious position. Outside of our borders, we see what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. We see what's happening in the UK. We see what's happening all throughout Europe. Things are ready to explode. I've talked about how the party that's in needs a war. It needs a world war, or at least close to a world war, to take everybody's minds off of what's going on. But that's not really what our major concern should be right now, or what we should be getting ready for. Because next Tuesday, one of two things is going to happen. Either there is going to be a huge red wave, like Rogan says, the elevator doors opening and The Shining, or the Democrats may keep it. Now, I think that's an almost impossibility. But, you have to prepare for what you think is impossible, because how many times have we said, oh, that's impossible? The things we joked about 20 years ago, that'll never happen. Someday they'll be doing such and such, and all of a sudden they are, right? Well, it's kind of the way the world turns nowadays. But more than likely, it's going to be a I don't know how big the wave. I don't know if it's going to be a ripple. I don't know if it's going to be a tsunami. But I imagine that the Republicans are going to get back in control of both the House and the Senate. Okay, what happens then? What happens then is the left loses their minds. Loses their minds. The Democrats, while they're still in power for the remainder of this session, are going to be trying to pass every single thing they can. They're going to try to be bringing charges, again, more charges against Trump and anybody associated with him. They're going to be making it seem like when the Republicans take over, everybody's going to starve, every grandma's going to be pushed over a cliff. It's the end of the world. That's what it always is for them, because that's how they get people to vote for them. The world's coming to an end, but we care. Do what we say. We're ruining your economy. We're ruining your society. We're ruining your school systems. We're ruining your health care. But we care. Now, while they're doing that, they're doing as much as they can until the next Congress comes in January. And then you are going to see, we're going to have great hopes. Well, some of us who know better aren't going to have great hopes. We're just going to hope that some of the Republicans that go in will do what they say. But we've learned our lesson on that too, right? So the left is just going to go stark, raving bonkers. And it's going to become very dangerous. I fully expect there to be more protests, more riots, more everything. Crime's going to increase. Hate crimes are going to increase. Misinformation from the most of the media is going to increase. You're going to think the whole world fell apart. And then they're going to excuse it, just like they did the Summer of Love. Well, the mostly peaceful protests that burned people out of their businesses and killed people and attacked police and all this, you have to understand that, because this comes from a great deal of frustration and, pursuit of social justice. And we know it's all BS. It's all socialist, Marxist, communist BS. Too many of our people fall for it. That's what makes it dangerous. Now, will the Republicans, I'm just going to touch on politics here just for a minute. I'll talk about this more on the other channel. Are the Republicans going to do anything? Oh, there's some that are going to get up there. Remember, a politician is a person who wants to be in charge of other people. Okay, nobody who wants to be in charge of other people should be trusted. They're going to get there are some they're going to get up there and try to do what they say they're going to do, but they're going to get in, their first day, and some guy that's been there forever is going to come into their office and put their arm around them and say, "Well, boy, welcome to the club. Now, first thing we got to do is get you in this group, and this group, and this group, and this group. Get you your card for your free lunches in the house mess, and here got all your health insurance and all your perks, and here's all the stuff you're gonna get. You're gonna come out of this a millionaire, boy." Now, the first thing we got to do next, the second thing, is see how we're gonna get you reelected. Some of them will resist that for a while. Some of them won't resist it at all. Some of them may resist it for longer than that. A few people come to mind. Republicans do much better when they're out of power. When they get into power, they turn into Democrat light. So we'll see if people like Jim Jordan, if people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, if we'll see what happens next Tuesday. We'll see if these people, when they get in, what they do. You've heard all this. We're going to hold people to account. We're going to have investigations. We're going to do this. That's vote for me talk. We're going to investigate. People are going to be held accountable. Nobody's ever held accountable. No Democrat's ever held accountable. When was the last time a Democrat was held accountable? Not going to happen. But along with it's going to come a lot of violence. A lot of violence. Some of it organized, some of it disorganized, some of it personal. There's going to be so much hatred fomented out there. It's going to be a much more dangerous world than it is right now. So that's what this one's all about. It is about trouble's coming. It's going to get more dangerous. Pay attention. Starting next Tuesday, make sure that you're always able to defend yourself in any situation. Pay closer attention to the world around you. Know where you're going. Keep your gas tanks full. Make sure that your vehicles are operating properly. I know this sounds silly, but it's not. You need new tires. Get new tires on your vehicle. You don't want to have a flat tire in the wrong place when there are political winds blowing the fires of hate, right? Keep your gas tanks topped off. Stay in good touch, constant touch with your family members. Here I'm going over here. I'm going shopping. I'm going to be here and there. In the very first chapter of my first book, The Reversion. I guess I didn't show you about this. In the first book, The Reversion, I talk about when everything went down. Jim knew that Kelly would be close to home because she hadn't told him she was going anywhere else. See, these are communications, and I instill it great in my kids. My kids, if they are going to a friend's house, they text me or call. If they're going from there, if they want, they'll call me. Can we ride our bikes down to Dairy Queen? Yes. Now I know they're at Dairy Queen. Okay, now we're leaving. We're going back to such and such a place. Great. My older son, I'm leaving. I'm gonna stay over work 20 minutes later because I'm training somebody. I'll be home soon. Great. That's what you need to do. It's not a matter of answer. And a lot of people kind of, they bristle at that. It's not a matter of being accountable to somebody. It's a matter of security. It's a matter of staying in touch with your team. Okay, your family or your friends that are around or your team. Stay in touch with them. Let them know what's going on and what you're doing, and then stay out of the areas that could be problematic areas. And we all know where those are, right? Now those problematic areas are increasing and they're expanding, right? And we know that anything can happen at any time. It can happen in the middle of a big city. It can happen out in a small town. Less out in a small town, but it can happen. Anything can happen anywhere to anyone. Keep that in mind and always be ready for it. And then I think, it's not going to be a flash in the pan. This is going to be ongoing. We're headed into the next 2 years. If the Republicans take the House and the Senate, we're headed to 2 years of more dangerous times. Also, it's going to drive, the economy is going to keep going down. Keep prepping. Keep buying food, because inflation is going to continue. It's not going to stop tomorrow. Okay. The economy is going to keep going down. The Fed has already said they're going to raise interest rates another 75 basis points. That's the fancy way of saying 0.75%. A couple of more times. And so things are going to get rougher. People are going to be losing their jobs. There's going to be more businesses closing down. It's going to be tough. The more you prepare today, the better it's going to be. And like the better shape you're in, the less you're going to notice. Again, like I always refer to on the back of the reversion, Jim Wyatt said, if everything comes tumbling down, I don't want to notice. Most people aren't in that situation. I understand that. But get a little bit closer every day. The closer you get to that, the better off you're going to feel. As always, remember that these videos are brought to you by my books, the Stonemont series, a series of now 5. I'm working on the 6th. People ask, when the 6th one is going to be out? I'm hoping for Christmas, but you know what hope is. But I'm hoping, and I'm working for it. Hope without work isn't worth much, but hope with work brings more. And I'm working at it and hoping for Christmas. But you can get these either through Amazon and paperback or Kindle, and the link is down below. Or you can get them directly from me, autographed copies, and that takes longer. And the way to do that is down below. It's all under how to join us over on Patreon. Please do. We'd love to have you, and you'll get a lot out of it. And how to get to the books. Yes, I'm shipping some T-shirts out today. I'm not going to make another video about the T-shirts yet, because I'm getting these orders out that we've already got in, and I'm making some decisions on colors and fronts and backs and badges, things like that. Okay. Keep this in mind. Remember, the basics, preparedness basics will take you a long way. You don't have to get too fancy. Food, water, medications, defense, shelter, security, all the time. Assume that the world is a dangerous world, and it doesn't have to scare you. It's just like, continue to enjoy the world, but realize that you may have to participate in your own defense, and you'll be ready. Okay. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And tomorrow could be a lot more dangerous than today. So prepare for it. Get ready for it. Don't be afraid of it, but be ready when it comes. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.